Hello, my name is Krzysztof Przetacznik. I'm an independent clerk at the Department of Personnel and Social Affairs at the University of Silesia in Katowice. I'm personally in charge of our international employees, and I'm here today to just make a quick speech about the employment procedure at our university. The employment procedure at our university begins with you receiving an information that you have won the contest for the position of academic teacher. At our university, after receiving such information, you will be informed by us that you need to fill and send us some of the basic documentation, including your personal data, your acceptance of our regulations, and also the confirmation that you accept to us processing and storing your personal data during the recruitment process. Afterwards, there will be a meeting of the employment committee at our university, where the procedure and the acceptance of your position will be talked about, and the entire committee will give the decision whether or not the employment during the given time and on the given position will actually take place. This committee takes place every 2 weeks, so there is not a lot of time between them. So that is not a problem if you are going to be employed, for example, in the middle of the academic year, because it's not the problem that you have to be employed right at the beginning of the semester or at the end. You can begin your employment at pretty much any month and pretty much any day of the year. In Polish law, it is not always certain that your diploma or academic title or any other academic achievement will be deemed as equivalent to the Polish ones. Because our university has special regulations regarding the requirements for a position, which comes from our Polish law regarding science and education, there might be a situation where your diploma is not equivalent to the Polish one. In such situation, there is a special procedure called nostryfication. Nostryfication, or nostryfikacja in Polish, is a process during which the department checks your entire diploma and your education and decides whether or not it can be deemed as equivalent to the Polish ones. It is especially important if your diploma comes from the country that is not residing in European Union, and also if it is a title different than Polish doctor, or in English it is equivalent of PhD. Usually there are some titles, especially the title of a professor or a master's degree, that cannot be deemed as equal instantly, so they must undergo the nostryfication process. After the meeting of the employment committee, the clerk from Department of Personnel and Social Affairs will reach out to you regarding your medical examination. In order to be employed at our university, no matter the position, you must undergo a preliminary medical examination. It will change depending on the position, because, for example, lecturer will have to take care of their voice and their eyesight for working with computers, but for example, someone who works as a biologist might also take into consideration working in the field pretty much and obtaining samples from nature. Because of this, the medical examination will be necessary in order to employ you here. What is important is that there is one specific condition under which you can pretty much skip the examination, and that is if you were employed right before working at our university or up to 30 days before that. By law, we can accept the medical examination results from your previous work. So if you are in such a situation, please contact us and then we can work it out. Otherwise, you will have to go to one of the 3 clinics that are working along with our university in order to go to this medical examination. These clinics are in Katowice, Sosnowiec and Cieszyn. You can pick any one of them, as they are not bound to the specific city or department, but you must undergo such examination before you start working. All of the necessary documentation that you have to fill and send to us are available at our website www.us.edu.pl, where, if you swap to English, obviously, you can find all of the necessary documentation also translated into English. You can download them, print, fill, and because of our current pandemic restrictions, you can send the scans of them to the clerk from the Personnel and Social Affairs who are responsible for your employment. Please take into consideration that you will also have to sign them once again after coming here, because we require you to also certify on the original documentation that you left at our university that you are indeed confirming all of the documents that you have sent us as scans on a later date. You will also have to sign in the same way our contract and all of the documentation that we will send to you, which can be done either by post or by scan and then confirmed at a later date. Please also contact our clerk from the Personnel and Social Affairs regarding the way of delivering these documents to them, as it might change depending on the current situation. On your first day of work at our university, you have to take a few things into consideration. First of all, you have to remember that on the first day, you will have to undergo the mandatory health and safety training, as well as the fire hazard training. After this, our friends from HR department will reach out to you and you will be scheduled for the short kind of adaptation. It is a short training which will inform you about all of the perks and possibilities for you at our university. During this time, they will also help you set up the email account and allow you to access all of our university technical possibilities, reaching from Wi-Fi to all of the machinery and the necessary documentation that you will have to fill in order to fully participate in our academic and scientific issues. In certain situations where you will require a letter of confirmation from our university in order to fulfill your visa proceedings, please reach out to the clerk from the Personnel and Social Affairs who is responsible for your employment. They will be happy to help you, as we will prepare a letter of recommendation signed by the rector of our university based on the current proceedings of your employment. Such a letter will be sent then both to you and to the consulate or embassy that is preparing your visa, in order to confirm that you are indeed getting employed at our university, about all of the technical information ranging from the salary to the date of the contract, in order to fully help you and speed up the visa process and allowing you to come to Poland as soon as possible. At the University of Silesia, there are many social benefits that are also available to our employees. For example, you can have additional compensation if you decide that you require new glasses, and during the preliminary medical examination, it will be deemed necessary for you to utilize them in your everyday job. Other examples might include, for example, if you have a child, you might also be granted additional compensation for their food, either at school or at the kindergarten. There is also a possibility of applying for special bonuses, for example, Christmas bonus or summer holiday bonus, if your holidays take longer than 14 days. There are also other forms of social benefits or compensation for our employees. That might also include help and payments for international travels, especially for some kind of scientific endeavors or presentations, or other forms of mobility between universities or even other research centers across the world. Additionally, during your work in Poland, you might be also compensated by what we call 13th salary, which is paid after the full year of work as a special compensation granted at the beginning of the year. If you happen to have any work certificates or previous job contracts, please inform your clerk from the Personal and Social Department in order to add them to your documentation. Each year of previous work experience will add 1% to your basic salary, up to 20% yearly, with one information that the increased salary will begin from 3%. Additionally, please remember that you have any other documents that proves any of your additional skills or language or any other finished trainings. Please also consult with your clerk if you can bring them and add to our documentation, as they will also prove that you are a valuable asset to our university. Also, please remember that if any of your personal data would change, ranging from your research status, for example, if you obtain any new diploma or title, or you change your address or perhaps surname, please also inform us, as we are required to add it to our documentation, and it will also bring you closer to our university. Don't worry if you have any additional questions, because we know that the employment process can be a bit rough at times. But if you have any of them, please contact our Welcome Point, which is a place designed specifically for our international employees. So please reach out to them. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you soon at the University of Silesia. Goodbye.